All right, everyone, welcome in. GM. No Gillcast for everyone last night. Sammy and Nate were both out, so I wasn't able to get that to you guys. My sincere apologies for not being able to get the Gillcast out last night. Although it was nice, basically, to not be sitting there for 7 hours at my desk on a Sunday afternoon. Got to bed nice and early. Can't complain about that. And it ended up being a pretty good day in DFS. So yeah, we are gonna do our usual bag check, and we're gonna take a look at what happened in DFS yesterday. We are going to take a look at our best ball teams. We're going to take a look at all the high stakes stuff. GM Chad, GM Mind of a Kid. How are we all doing? How are we all doing, man, on this this beautiful, very cold, very frigid Monday afternoon for all of us? Oh, all of us who live in the Midwest. So first off, gotta pull up the Gillcast, gotta absolutely flex on these losers. We frankly we did get robbed of a good show yesterday because look at what Sammy Reed played. I mean, my boy Sammy Reed, dude, Cedric Tillman paid up for JSN's 20 points, did get the Jacksonville Jaguars defense in. So shout out to him for that. But this will have to be your Gillcast replacement. It was one of those days where I just didn't love the ETR Opto. Not that the ETR Opto was bad, but the ETR Opto included, what was it? It had Hunter Henry in it. I believe the ETR Opto was JJ. I can tell from looking at my team. So the top optimal, the blended stuff, was McCarthy, A-Chain, Dowdle, Jennings, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tez Johnson, Trey McBride, Hunter Henry, and the Jaguars defense. I decided I really didn't want to do that. I just didn't really want to play Hunter Henry. I thought that Juwan Jennings was basically an absolute must play. I honestly, I kind of didn't really like Tez Johnson, who totally lucked out to score 2 touchdowns. I did really like McCaffrey, and I wanted to try and get him in. I don't believe there was a ton. Like, McCaffrey was not in all of the optos. Yes, Michael. No baby. No baby yet. We are still waiting. We are big time waiting on him to decide that he wants to come and hang out with all of us. Unclear what his deal is, but he really doesn't want to hang out. But the team that I played in cash was McCarthy, A-Chain, Dowdle, Jennings, Parker Washington with the punt return touchdown and the receiving touchdown, Tez Johnson, 30 points from Trey McBride, 17 points from Christian McCaffrey, and 11 points from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe the reason that sometimes this channel, because I share this StreamYard with the Endgame Syndicate, sometimes the stuff gets messed up with the titles. Although from my end, I'm seeing just the normal names. I'm seeing Nick, I'm seeing Michael, I'm seeing my boy, it's Mookie, I'm seeing MBS, who said I was right about McBride and Cash. I did all right thanks to Henderson, but your team did better. I honestly hadn't even looked at the ownerships in the big 50-50s and double ups. All I know is that I absolutely punished Nate and Sammy. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Where is the map? It's going to take me forever to find this. I'm going to have to type in giant NFL, maybe. How do you find this? There's got to be a way to find the maybe by money $1, $1. Here we go. So I finished in 75th place of the double up. So it looks like my team was pretty duped, because from 75 all the way down to, dude, oh God, what a dupe train. So keep scrolling. So there were 307 people in the giant $25 double up who played this team. Yes. This is a weird thing, and I don't know what is happening yet, but there's a second stream live on YouTube that looks like it's streaming your phone screen share. This is like a new thing. I don't know what it is, but it's like a vertical stream, and I don't know. I guess I need to delete it. This is like a new thing from StreamYard that basically like they want you to get to vertical like TikTok style streaming. I just deleted it. So I guess let me know if that worked or is working or what the deal is there. Michael Hodson, a member. Thank you, sir. So it looks like JJ McCarthy was not that chalk, 29%. A-Chain, 64%. Dowdle was big time chalk. Jennings only 61%. I frankly thought Jennings was basically the first guy in cash. Well, Dowdle the first guy in, followed by Juwan Jennings. There's just no way to fade that workload right now. Parker Washington only 24%, Tez Johnson 39%. But the mistake everyone made was not playing Trey McBride. Trey McBride at 33%. I guess what was the other? I'm assuming there was some other big train to be had. Maybe it didn't cash because the 2v2 ended up being Jackson Smith and Jigba. What was it? It was JSN Henry versus Parker Washington and I'm already forgetting. Parker Washington and CMC. So there you go. I don't know. Basically, it was a pretty straightforward slate in cash. I texted Nate to see if he wanted to hop on, but he is not available right now. Sammy was not available last night. Nate was not available last night. So that's what you get. You don't get me gloating over these guys. You just get a nice, easy win for your boy in cash games on DraftKings. I do think this was probably the right team to play. Like JSN obviously would have been a good play. Yes, no Gillcast this week. Like, well, first off, I thought I was not going to be available. So last Sunday after the show, I told Sammy and Nate, I was like, well, I'm probably not going to be around because I thought I'd be in the hospital. It was not at the hospital because my child does not want to be born yet, but Sammy was going to be out of town anyways. Sammy sent me a picture at some point in the afternoon on a helicopter. So that's pretty crazy. And then I guess Nate was not at the house either. So no Sammy, no Nate, no Gillcast, but there you go. There is a Week 10 NFL Daily Fantasy Recap. And I didn't play on FanDuel. I actually barely played Salary Cap DFS yesterday. I just played this team in cash games, and I played one team in the SPY. That was it. I generated no dollars, but I felt like it was pretty close to being good. So what I did in the SPY was I played 11% on Jared Goff. I played Judkins. I played Dowdle, St. Brown, Jamo, Zay Flowers, Laporta, Juwan Jennings, and the Texans defense. Obviously, this team would have been a lot better with Trevion Henderson over Judkins. And on the Sunday morning stream, I was like, man, I really, really, really want to play Trevion Henderson. And I just could not get a team to sim well with Trevion Henderson. And it was, I guess it was just one of those things where the input was wrong for Trevion Henderson. I should have, instead of trying to resim and find a good Trevion Henderson lineup, I should have just locked Trevion Henderson in. What was the winning team? Winning team in the SPY was Mayfield, Gibbs, Henderson, Jennings, Igbuka, Tez Johnson, Hunter Henry, Devin A-Chain, and the Texans defense. I don't think I would have found the winning team. I was a little concerned about Devin A-Chain against the Buffalo Bills. Just a little bit concerned. Like, I mean, I thought there was like no chance that Devin A-Chain and the Bills were going to have this like blowout win against the Buffalo Bills in no scenario. The thing I was worried about was the reverse of what happened, which I was worried the final score was going to be Miami 13, Buffalo 30, and A-Chain didn't spend any time in the second half playing. Jahmyr Gibbs was my gold star play on thinking about DFS. 2 weeks in a row, by the way, that the gold star play was the highest scoring player of the slate. I'm just saying, but I did not get him in. I guess a team I could have played. I'm trying to think of, because the team I was trying to do was with James Cook over Judkins and then Trevion Henderson here. Freaking Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, man. He was killing me. The Ravens were killing me. They give Justice Hill a 1-yard touchdown. Flowers is just like wide open, killing it every single play. I guess Zay Flowers is just one of those guys who's destined to be a little bit brutal every year in fantasy football. You're going to look at his numbers and you'll be like, man, Zay Flowers, great player. And then he just doesn't quite get there. My boy, Benny, told me that he avenged me and took out BFink24. Yes, BFink24 took out one of my final 2 Eliminator teams last week. And Liam and I's co-owned Eliminator team got smoked, faced Jonathan Taylor without Jonathan Taylor. The Browns with a fail. Who didn't see it coming? Sadly, me. Too much Judkins. Yeah, you're not alone. We don't know anything about Gadsden yet because he has an MRI scheduled for this afternoon, so we'll know more. Yes, and I mean, this was the reason why A-Chain projected so well, is the Bills do legitimately have a terrible run defense, and they allow explosive runs just like left, right, and center. But I don't know. I mean, this team I played, like, I feel okay about it. Judkins at 22% is probably not great. But I don't know, what is the combinatorial, I guess I could look this up. The combinatorial ownership of the Goff triple. Goff, St. Brown, JMO, and Laporta, like, could not have been that high. And the team scored 1 billion points. They scored 44 points. So I'm not really that mad about having stacked a team that scored 44 points. It just didn't get there. And how owned was Gibbs? I mean, maybe Gibbs was, as I said, on Thinking About DFS, I should have listened to my own advice. Gibbs was only 14%. Yeah, so Gibbs is only 14%. Winning team having Hunter Henry, by the way. This team right here that Andrew Ross won with, not really that far away from the cash game optimal. It's Mayfield instead of McCarthy, Gibbs instead of CMC, Igbuka instead of JSN, Tez Johnson, Hunter Henry, and then A-Chain Texans instead of McBride Jaguars. I have 1 Eliminator team, but I have Kyler on it with only Penix left, being carried by CMC and JT. Well, hey, man. I believe there are 150 some Eliminator teams left, so chip in a chair is all you need. I locked in A-Chain and Henderson and everything. Sadly, it turns out Jacoby Brissett is not that great. That is sad. That is it. Yeah, Leone was all over the Bucks triple. I believe an ETR subscriber won $1 million yesterday. So shout out. I've got a Gibbs JT team advancing currently. Could be a wagon complaint. Pretty nice. So that is a look at the DraftKings stuff. Again, entered a little bit less often than normal over on Underdog. And I was... did not have a particularly good main slate. Only got $304 back, but I don't think I drafted that bad. I mean, you guys tell me the Underdog BR stuff. Let's go ahead and pull these up. I guess in the end, what happened is my wide receiver exposures were just really bad. And then I made a huge mistake at the top. You guys are going to see this right away. Massive mistake. 30% Rico Dowdle, 27% Judkins, 19% Rashad White. Basically the 3 worst running back picks on the slate, which meant that I was way above the field on Henderson, but I was below on Gibbs and I was below on A-Chain. So the 2 guys you had to have, Gibbs and A-Chain, I just really limited my ability to hit a top 1% score, because how many Gibbs A-Chain teams could I have even had? Todd N joined late. No kid yet, Todd. No kid. Coleman proved that you just throw him the ball, he will make it happen. I think that is the exact opposite of true, because he had 8 targets and he only caught 3 of them for 46 yards and a touchdown. So I think that is the exact opposite of of the truth. Cash team was the absolute nuts. Scored 192 points. I think I literally won every head-to-head that I played. Here you go. Here you go, Trout Stalker. 191.02. McCarthy, A-Chain, Dowdle, Jennings, P-Wash, Tez Johnson, Trey McBride, Christian McCaffrey in the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Yes. Keon Coleman is bad. Purple Yosh did the same thing. Ton of Judkins and Dowdle, had a lot of Gibbs, but almost no A-Chain. Yeah, I mean, you had to make those choices, and I chose wrong. Chose really wrong because like McCaffrey sucked. I should have probably done more Brees. I don't know. I was just all in on these two dudes, on Dowdle and Judkins, and then Henderson was my favorite scroll. At quarterback, I did draft a ton of Goff relative, and I drafted a ton of Caleb relative to ADP, and then I was overweight Mac Jones relative to ADP. Those were all correct. Directionally accurate. Of course, at tight end, double the field on Trey McBride. Feel like that was definitely right. Overweight on Mark Andrews. I definitely feel like that was correct. And then underweight all the other schmucks because they were all schmucks. Is there a way to see that Jalen Naylor was drafted in the Millie? There's a way to see how much Jalen Naylor was drafted in Best Ball Mania. I can check that for you. Jalen Naylor. This isn't going to be okay. Well, it doesn't matter. Scores are not going to be updated on BBMDB. There you go. Jalen Naylor was drafted 7,998 times. Let's compare that to Ty Felton. Ty Felton was drafted 2,725 times. There you go. No, there's no way, at least no way that I know to check the DraftKings stuff. DraftKings doesn't seem that interested in having people check their games out. But yeah, I guess, and then wide receiver stuff. So I'm way overweight on JSN. St. Brown ends up not mattering. Flowers sucks. Jefferson sucks. Igbuka, like whatever. He was fine. Marv was fine. Puka, I was way overweight on Jennings, which ended up being correct. I wasn't honestly overweight enough. 9% Garrett Wilson, really bad. Debo, honestly, pretty bad. Too light on Rome. Definitely should have been jamming in Jameson Williams more. Only 6.8% of Jameson Williams. What's the EV for the final 96 Eliminator teams? No idea. I did not like Devontae Adams. The Devontae Adams stuff is so based on touchdowns. It's very hard for me to get there in a given week because he's 100% drafted and the combos are always so obvious. So I most of these Devontae Adams slates, I've been a little bit lighter. So let's go into the actual result. Oh, I did have a good team in the flea flicker though. I finished 15th, and I think I'm literally the last cashing place. Oh, almost. So I did Caleb Williams, McCaffrey, Henderson, Roman Dunze, Jennings, and Colston Loveland in the flea flicker. I don't believe this is true, by the way. I think there's almost no chance it's true that there's only 96 left in the Eliminator because it wouldn't go 380 to 96. So that seems very unlikely. My most drafted player at each position was Dart, Gibbs, Rome, McBride, and I lost money this week. I'm not going to lie to you, Jake. That's tough. That's tough, brother. I'm praying for you. Okay, the winning team of the main BR. What do we got here? It's definitely a McBride team. Notorious Parlay. That's a very funny name. So he did Jackson Dart, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devin A-Chain. So you definitely had the required parts yesterday were Gibbs, A-Chain, McBride. There were a lot of scores that could have combined for winning teams outside of that. JMO only 23% drafted. Roma Dunze 83% drafted. Dart 81%. My boy J Life finished 18th in the Wildcat. Best ever finish in a semi-big tourney. All right, let's check it out. Did I even? Wow, I only did 4 teams in the Wildcat. My boy finished. What'd he say? He finished 18th. There we go. Stafford, 55% drafted. Gibbs and A-Chain. Adams, Nico Collins, and Kittle. There we go. Very, very nice team. What did Nate play? Nate played McCarthy, A-Chain, Dowdle, Puka, Jennings. Oh, he played Flowers. Oh, yeah. This team that Nate played is not great. How would it be? How would it be 96? Someone explain to me how this works. How is it possible in the elim? Is that right? I thought there should be 300 something teams left. Someone explain this to me. Cuz I'm not smart enough to know. But I thought it was down to 384 this last week. There you go. 96 matchups. Thank you. There we go. It took one, there we go. One person smarter than me. Thank you. That's all we needed. We needed one person smarter than I am. Okay. There we go. Purple Yosh got 3rd in the Deposit Kingdom to save his week. All right. Well, what won the Deposit Kingdom? My boy Mookie got the shipper with Jared Goff, Gibbs and A-Chain, of course, Igbuka, JMO, George Kittle. Really nice team. Nice little scroll there to JMO. And my boy, Mr. Purple Yosh, 1v1, Roma Dunze versus Emeka Igbuka. There you go. Well, bit of especially because my last week was so good. Bit of a bummer. I mean, I guess basically my best team, it's very funny. So my best team had all the required pieces. It had Gibbs, it had A-Chain, it had McBride, it had Dart. And the wide receivers I had on that team, 8.5 points from Tetaroy and McMillan, 9.2 points from Wan'Dale Robinson. Oh, man. That is sickening to look at. Just like if I drafted basically any other wide receivers, Tet and Wan'Dale, that is too fancy, Davis. That right there is too fancy for diapers that will hopefully be needed soon. Salute to you, Mr. Purple Yosh, Mr. Steampunk Mario. I also hope they will be needed soon. Wow, I advanced my elim with Mahomes, Pacheco, Rashi, T, Hollywood, Kelsey buys. That is sick. And A-Chain Henry. So this team right here going into the late games, I thought I had the nuts right here. So going into the late games, I had 37 points from A-Chain, 27 from Henderson, 17 from Rome. I had Goff, St. Brown, and Kittle left going into the late games. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I thought this was a huge sweat right here. 45% drafted Goff, 100% drafted Rome, 100% drafted Kittle, but 34% Trevion Henderson. I was like, I saw this team as we were starting the Shipcast up, and I was like, wow, are you going to win $40,000 in the main BR? And then McBride just went Giga Nuke. I wonder if it would have been possible? Where did I take Kittle? I took Kittle at 17 in this one. So probably obviously unlikely that I would have gotten there, but Gibbs Hendo, another Gibbs Hendo. I want to see did I only have one Gibbs A-Chain team in the whole thing? Yeah, I really just didn't have very much Gibbs A-Chain, so it was basically impossible. My boy Beatman, hope you've been doing good. Happy you made some money last week. Me too, brother. Yeah, I mean the thing with Tet is I don't think any reasonable person would disagree with this statement that Tet is very good. Bryce is just a huge limiting factor for Mr. Young. Do I have anything else? Oh, our boy Fantasy Dog Pound. This actually is a sick beat. Swolecast continues as always. The Gillcast on Sunday night. No, not happening because I thought that I was not going to be available. Sammy was out of town and Nate made other plans. If I added Theo to my Dart Wandale Skinny instead of Hunter Henry, I win 500 instead of 50. It's the name of the game, brother. It's very sickening. Fantasy Dog Pound, who, if you guys don't watch him on YouTube, he has a very cool YouTube channel. He finished second in the victory formation, had the Gibbs A-chain combo. But look at this. Very last drive, Kyron Williams getting a useless carry at the end, beat him out. Kyron 21.4 to just barely eke out our boy Fantasy Dog Pound. So a little bit of a bad beat there. Yeah, what can you do? Good slate on Underdog. Wow, my boy Fantasy Football Garage gifted 5 memberships. Give him a big salute in the chat. And if you got a membership from Mr. Garage, make sure that you say thank you. I agree. I agree. I what I'm doing is I'm just getting you guys ready, Joe. I'm getting you guys ready, Joe King, because you're gonna be missing the Gillcast for at least a couple weeks while I figure out how to raise a child. Although at this point, maybe he's just not ever coming. Maybe he's just decided it's not happening. Yeah, honestly, good slate, and I'm also very glad that Jonathan Taylor was not on it. What did I play in this? I played a Caleb Naked, Trevion, and too fancy, Davis. Too fancy. You know, Zoho, it's one of those things where you always think, how hard can it be to host a show and do it and figure it out? It just, at the end of the day, it's just not that easy, man. Making decent watchable YouTube content is a little bit harder than you would think. Wow, Memby for 8 months. Mathology had another good sweat in the Dog Bowl qualifier. Let's pull that up. So the DBQ, what was my best team? Jacoby Brisket, Marvin Harrison team, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, LOL. Sometimes viewer of the program, Ty Tubinas 2121 with the big shipper, the Mac Jones swap, Jahmyr Gibbs, Trevion Henderson, Chris Olave, Tez Johnson, George Kittle. Pretty strong there. Barzy, who I believe is coming on the Badge Bros program this afternoon, did Caleb Williams, Devin A-Chain, Trevion Henderson, Emeka Egbuka, Jameson Williams, and Mark Andrews. So no correlation, but just basically nutted out every single pick. Tough sweat here for our boy Dan J. Preciado, who has told me that he does not watch this show, so he's not even ever going to hear this, but he did the Goff JMO, used Tez Johnson, so no scrolls. Interesting, basically no scrolls this week amongst all the viewers. Our boy Mathology with the Mac Jones swap, A-Chain, Henderson, Marv, Tez, and Kittle. And Patrick Barnes YouTube does not get a seat. He did Dart, A-Chain, Henderson, Rome, Slayton, and the Juwan Johnson scroll, getting him a little bit of a sweat there. But, folks, that's all we go. Is JT 100% advanced in the limb? I mean, I assume so. All right, so let's do real quick. We'll go over and we'll go check the Eliminator stuff, because the team that I have with Liam got absolutely smoked. So we are done in the Eliminator with however many teams left there are. Not that many. All right, so let's go select user. Chess Liam is eliminated 151 to 138. The team that Liam and I co-drafted just got just got smoked. So we actually won at quarterback. Goff beat out Allen. Both teams had McCaffrey and JT. What's sick is we even had A-Chain. I mean, how sick is that? We even had A-Chain and then got a 15 burger from Woody Marks and just easily lost. 37 from A-Chain, 15 from Woody Marks, and we just easily lost. JSN gets 17. JMO gets 20.9. We did, so big thing here is our edge was at tight end and we lost tight end. So we had Kincaid and Pitts. We get 4.8 from tight end. He gets 16.4 from Alec Pierce, 4.4 from Douglas, 2.2 from Mooney. If Golden was going to play tonight, I just think Golden's not going to play. He didn't practice on Saturday, so I just assume that means he's not playing. Yeah. So that sucks. End of the road. Wished we could have found the shipper there, but it was not meant to be. It feels like I maybe even played this guy, this DS Council guy. I feel like I might have even played him. I could possibly take down a JT team if we get like 45-ish combined from Hertz and Smith. Wow. All right. There we go, man. Shout out to you, brother. Little bit of a bummer. Pour one out. PD says pour one out. Yeah. Very cool contest. Very, 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 very excited to play this contest again next year. You know what would be an awesome thing? Some kind of playoff eliminator. There's probably not enough weeks to do it, but kind of fun. If the elim format stays the same, what are your plans next year? I mean, my plans are the same as this year, which is to max it. I guess one thing I would do is I didn't do any in the big eliminator. I mean, I basically ran out of money. And you know, that happens. But I will definitely do the big eliminator next year. I was sub 20% to advance either eliminator before Sunday. Now projected for 1.7, one guaranteed. That is very, very sick. Yes, the people are demanding. So I'm guessing the very first playoff best ball contest will be launched tomorrow. I'm thinking that we will probably get the way too early wild card. I'm guessing literally tomorrow. Obviously no confirmation on that in terms of the way too early wild card, but it would have been the same. This is when they did it last year. Question in the BBM overall leaderboard, where you finish, is it through week 14 or 17? Oh, that's actually a good question. I assume week 17, but I would need someone else to answer that. I guess I just assumed week 17, but I hadn't, or no, it is week 14. It's regular season. So it's week 14. Yeah, it's week 14. If you want to see something truly sick, look at my wide receiver room and my advancing one. Steampunk Mario. Wide receivers for the advancing purple Yosh. Tet, Pickens on a bye, injured Godwin, injured Reed, Jaden Higgins, injured Marvin Mims, DeMario Douglas. My God. Draft Jonathan Taylor. Nothing else matters, bro. Nothing else matters. 23 ball from Trey McBride. Honestly, my biggest lesson in the eliminator is 3 quarterback, 3 tight end is like a pretty big structural edge. honestly. Like the edge in just having more scores to choose from is pretty big, mostly because of things that are uncontrollable in terms of like Lamar, I think is a pretty big example of this. Like Lamar, you click on an Elam team, you're happy to see it, but quarterbacks just get injured more than you think. And tight end performance is just very random. I will say one thing that I am going to change my opinion on was I was very against elite tight end in the Eliminator. Like I had a very, very light amount of Trey McBride and Brock Bowers in the Eliminator, and I will probably feel pretty differently about that next week or next year rather, because the winning, like mega scooping a week at tight end is super valuable. 3 quarterback isn't necessary. I got Mahomes and Herbert. Okay, well, what if Herbert was injured this week? You lose. If Herbert sprained an ankle, you lose. Right? You just don't want to set up yourself for an auto loss. And it doesn't have any, like Mahomes and Herbert are both very good. Yeah. But basically you are, yes, I mean, of course 2 healthy quarterbacks is great. And to some degree you just need the ball to bounce your way. Like at a certain point the ball just has to bounce your way in these combinations. James, like how different does the Eliminator season look if James Conner doesn't get injured? James Conner, a super important player because a lot of good players were very hip to James Conner because he came at a spot where the production was front weighted, you know, and his injury killed a bunch of teams. That's just the way she goes. And just in general, something that I'm thinking about for next year. Take a gander at my Eliminator team. Is it just Kurt Rambis? Kurt Rambis. There you go. Wow, 169 to 66. You got a freaking walkover, man. Just joined. Yes. Induction scheduled for Friday. So we'll see. My lesson on the Eliminator is even more emphasis than I did on the running back room. Just vital to have 3+ that have viable roles. Yeah. I mean, I guess another big lesson is the most important part of the season to get through is like the first 3 weeks of the season. You get through the first 3 weeks of the season and you are just flipping coins, right? You just keep flipping those coins and someone in the Eliminator is going to have won 10 coin flips in a row, right? Maybe not going to be you, maybe not going to be me, but just by the nature of the situation, someone in the Eliminator is going to have won 10 coin flips in a row. Yep. I think this basically sums it up. Be overweight the week 1 spike weeks, avoid as many zeros as possible, and pray to the RNG gods. That if I could summarize it as succinctly as possible, I believe this is correct. Like, how many Quentin Johnston teams are left? How overrepresented is Quentin Johnston just because he had those 2 big spike weeks early? All right, my boy Kurt Rambis wins 169 to 66. Dude, this guy had freaking 2 tight end scores counting for him. Wow, ship the PTP last night. I didn't even play the PTP, so I can't even go look. Wait, maybe I did. Is this it? No, this is the wrong. Is this the right PTP? No, it's not. This is the last PTP. I didn't even play. I didn't even play, brother. 4-way chop. What was the shipper? Lad, what? I mean, I don't know. Did anyone beat a Jonathan Taylor team in Eliminator? I bet PD will have an updated graphic for us this afternoon with that stuff. Ugh. The sickest feeling is losing with 150. Yeah. I was on the closest loss graphic last week. I believe I lost to Mr. BFink24, who did send me a nice message on Twitter. So shout out to BFink24, but I lost by 0.08 points to BFink24 last week. All right, the winning PTP shipper was Jones, Vidal, Pierce, Ladd, Warren, and JT. All right, check my elim. Cody Santo 11. Cody Santo 11. 174 to 57. Jesus Christ, man. You guys getting absolute walkovers. My boy Cody has Fields, Herbert, and Richardson tough. A-Chain, JT. What a fucking running back room. Cook, Harvey, and Daboll. These running backs really, or these wide receivers really suck. How did you get this? I guess if you have A-Chain and JT, anything's possible. Man, this has got to be the worst wide receiver room left in the elim. Flowers, Reed, Downs, Burden, QJ, Slayton, Nolan, Naylor. I mean, Cody, shout out to you, man. But that is incredible. Wow. It's a half PPR website, man. Half PPR, anything is possible. Jalen Knoll. I mean, honestly, that wide receiver room, like something I would encourage everyone to think though. And I know this because I've been thinking it myself. Like I'm having these thoughts of like, dude, I'm going to draft running back so hard next year. I'm going to be drafting Javonte Williams. I'm going to draft DeAndre Swift. I'm drafting all these oldie, dusty running backs. Is like, I don't know, man. Football changes pretty quickly. And I don't know. It would not be surprising to me if next year if we saw a marked difference in scoring. That's all, but maybe not. Maybe that's pure cope. But it really was not that long ago in the National Football League when wide receivers outscored running backs by a huge degree. What's a good BBM advancing team look like, generally speaking? As many alive players as possible. Of course you could sun run, brother. It's always possible to sun run. My advancing eliminator had 7 players on bye. Well, shout out to you, brother. GM. I only know one thing next year. I will continue to draft shitty teams and Arizona will still be shitty. Who's Arizona's quarterback going to be next year? Keaton Slovis. This is the thing, is if running back ADP gets preposterous next year, there's definitely going to be an inflection point where it will then behoove us to draft wide receivers again. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, man. Oof. Bit of a tough spot for Justin Jefferson. His quarterback play has just been miserable all year. It's been horrendous to watch. All right, so BBMDB is not updated yet. PD said that it's going to be updated around 1 p.m., so let's hang out until we get there. Lenore, here's the deal with Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers is not even going to he's not even going to declare. He is going to transfer to the University of Miami and get paid like $1 billion to do it. Not $1 billion, but he's going to get paid a lot of money. What week 15 to 17 games? None of them. I'm not excited for any of them. Football is brutal. I don't know. I Detroit, Minnesota, if JJ McCarthy can get his shit together. Dallas, Washington. Dallas, Washington will be really interesting because it'll be two teams that are eliminated from the postseason and have these terrible defenses. Is one of the worst draft picks of the year, Trevion Henderson, going to finally come back right in time for the playoffs? How are Henderson BBM teams looking? Henderson BBM teams are certainly feeling a lot better. Wow. Tank Bigsby, anytime touchdown, 18-1 tonight. You know what? Let's just go slap it right here. We're gonna go Hurts, or we're gonna do Bigsby. And then what? Who do we want to take from the Packers? I'm gonna do Luke Musgrave, and I'm gonna do 2.5 receptions, and we're gonna toss in a 10 spot on that. There you go. All right. Jack Fletcher, my boy, we're in. We're shipping it on Bigsby. There you go. There's our first pick'em entry of the stream. We're gonna cook some more pick'em action up later, but my boy Jack told us to do the anytime touchdown on Tank Bigsby, so let's ride. Yeah, we'll pull up the BBM. Was it BB Muse? I'll pull that up later. I think the most important factor in running back wide receiver scoring up this year is how few playable quarterbacks there are. I mean, that is an issue league wide. League wide, the quarterback play is as bad as I can ever remember it. Like, I mean, let's just hold on. This is actually a good exercise. So let's pull this up and let's go. How many QBs would you be happy to bet on in the playoffs? So this is not saying these guys are good, not saying these guys are bad, but let's go. You have a chance to wager on any of these quarterbacks as a 3-point favorite in the postseason. How many of them would you say are good? No disrespect, or you would be happy to do it. No disrespect intended to Daniel Jones. I'm saying no. Not happy to wager on him as a 3-point home favorite. Justin Herbert. No disrespect intended to Justin Herbert. I got no. Drake May. That's a yes for me. Matthew Stafford. That's a yes for me. Mahomes. That's a yes. The question is, you get to wager on this quarterback as a 3-point home favorite in the conference championship game. Do you feel good? I got Dak as a no. I got Darnold as a no. I got Goff as a yes. Hot take. I've got Goff as a yes. Hot take. I've got Baker as a yes. That's 5. I've got Mac Jones as a no. I've got Josh as a yes. I've got Caleb as a no. I've got Nix as a no. I've got Love as a no. I've got Flacco as a no. Lawrence as a no. Tua no. Honestly, you know what? I'm giving Rodgers a yes. In most insanely hot take of my life, I'm giving Rodgers a yes. Sue me. Giving Rodgers a yes. Geno, no. Penix, no. Stroud, no. Hurts, yes. Rattler, no. Young, no. Dart, no. Lamar, yes. That's 8. Wentz, no. Daniels? I mean, Daniels? Get out of here. What? Who are we? Who am I hating on irresponsibly right now? Rodgers over. I'm not saying Rodgers is good. But I don't know, man. I don't know. He can still fucking spin it. That one's on the borderline. Honestly, these are the only quarterbacks I can say with a 100% certainty the answer is yes. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Drake May. I mean, you gotta put Allen in there, obviously. So the subtext of this conversation is that they're a 3-point home favorite. So them being a 3-point home favorite implies a decent amount of surrounding talent. Yeah, I don't even like Aaron Rodgers. No, okay. Josh Allen has not been bad. This is terrible. Even Lamar in the playoffs has been famously sketchy, right? I beat Eric in head-to-head this week. GG to me. GG to you, Eric. Josh Allen has not been bad. This is Nick. This is terrible. This is not a good take from Nick. We are not saying that Josh Allen is bad. Josh Allen is like third in MVP. Another fun thing to look up. All right, how many three? Okay, I can actually look this up really easily. Let me get logged into StatHead, and we will do a little search. Have I looked at? No, but I know that it's Pete's highest scoring team. Josh Allen is coddled. I mean, Josh Allen's probably a little coddled. You guys are tripping though. I'm not gonna come on the internet. Oh well. Okay. StatHead loaded. Okay. Player game finder. Verified that I'm human. They must have been like DDoSed recently or something. All right. Single games matching criteria. Descending. Passing yards. Choose a statistical filter. Passing yards. 300 yards or more. We'll do either, and then I'll run this filter for 2024. So 2025. All right, in 2025, there have been 36 games of 300 or more passing yards. In 2024, there were 85, including the postseason, of 303 passing yards. Clip what? What'd I say? What'd I say? There's another website for BBM stuff, not Muse. They got cool features. 85. How many in 2023? That is funny. Oh my God, 112 in 2023. Dude, what have they done? Football is so fucking dust. No one throws for 300 yards anymore. How many in 2022? Yeah, the kicking rules have definitely changed the yards. 100 in 2022. 2021 is going to be absurd. There's going to be so many in 2021. 121. My goodness. That is so many. 2020 is going to be crazy. There's going to be like 150 in 2020. Dude, huge shout out to Dan Campbell for saving our JMO bags. Yeah, 139. Dude, football is so dust. All right, never draft a wide receiver again. 36. 36 through 10 weeks. 36. I mean, that is awful, dude. That is just they're gonna have to change it to the 280 yard bonus on DraftKings. God. That is just that's enough to make you not want to watch football. I mean, that is that is horrible. And we got Jay Herbie out here. Flacco with 470 against Chicago is crazy. Josh Allen probably is the worst supporting cast. Yeah. Were we giving Mahomes that excuse though? I don't know. I don't know if we were giving Mahomes that excuse though. I mean, Mahomes made a Super Bowl with fucking Tutu Atwell as his number one wide receiver. Josh, well, I mean, I think we can just be reasonable and rational about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts does have a super team. Why do we have to pretend that Jalen Hurts doesn't have a super team around him? Do we like why do we have to pretend that? I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan, but we do not have to pretend that Josh Allen or that Jalen Hurts doesn't have a super team around him. Penn legend Justin Watson, it's true. Mac Jones on here is very funny. Dude, honestly, Jake, that's actually such a good point. Points per first down would actually make up for a lot of this. That's actually a very good point. Points per first down would make a pretty big difference. Hey, you are not going to find a personality on the internet who is more pro Jalen Hurts and more anti Josh Allen than me. You are simply not going to find someone who likes Jalen Hurts more and dislikes Josh Allen more than me. But even I'm not trying to like shit on Josh Allen for what's happening right now. Yeah, I mean, Sean McDermott does kind of stink. All right, there we go. The BR main is out. We'll check that stuff here in a second. I want to run through the high stakes real quick. Like, it was a really good week on the NFC. Stats, live scoring. So I think all three of the teams won. Silver Bullet with Leone won. In the old high stakes check in. So we won. Leone and I won with 9 points from Fields, but 49 from Jonathan Taylor, 2 points from Bishop. This team is kind of stunk unless we find something at running back. We are going to have to get lucky. No, Joe Brady is a terrible coach. Joe Brady is really, really bad. But we got Jennings, we got Waddle, Gadsden. So Gadsden's going to be hurt. But this team is league standings league. We're up to second in our league, and we are only 13 points behind. So that's really strong. The team with Soccer Dave is in second place, and we are like 22 points behind in this one. We got another W this week, also starting Justin Fields in this one. Wait, no, that's Silver Bullet. Sorry, we're not starting Fields in that one. We started Josh Allen, CMC, Taylor, Olave, Shakir. Oh, we still have Devonta going in this one. So we could actually be in first place in this league. Andy, I don't know what this means. You have to be more specific. Oh, and we still have the Eagles defense. Wow. So we actually could pretty easily be in first place in this league. How about winning a fantasy football league with Soccer Dave as your co-manager? And then the team with Nate, we are down 1 point. So we need 1 point from Saquon Barkley to get a win this week. And we are in third place in this league, down by 73 points. So theoretically, it would be possible to win all 3 of these NFC leagues. The one with Nate is probably most unlikely, and the one with Soccer Dave is probably most likely. If we find a running back 2 on this team, we will win the league. If we find and we are 22nd in the overall on this one. Wow. I mean, God, dude, Scattaboo getting injured just sucks so bad for this team. And we have Jerome Ford and Ollie Gordon as our only bench running backs. No, again, this different team. Okay. No Gillcast yesterday. Not Nate or Sammy's fault, my fault. Brian Daboll fired. Do we have a Brian Daboll fired tweet? Here we go. All right. Brian Daboll fired. Brian Daboll fired from the New York Football Giants. I mean, does this make any difference to us? Brian Daboll fired. Okay, no one wants to hear this. It's not going to be very fun for us that Brian Daboll is fired because Brian Daboll's presence on the sideline was a big reason why Jackson Dart kept running like this. Whoever the offensive coordinator is going to be, whoever's going to call plays now is not going to run Jackson Dart like this. Exactly. They're going to be way more careful with Dart. I mean, frankly, well, I think it kind of is his fault for getting Dart concussed because Dart just should not have been running as much as he was. No, it doesn't have anything to do with this. Dart's fantasy value is definitely worse as a result of this. Like I would bet Jackson Dart's rush attempts are going to be cut in half as a result of this. Dart is a loose cannon in terms of scrambling, but they were calling a bunch of designed runs for him. And I would bet that is going to be a lot lower now. Like Jackson Dart, he ran 6 for 66, 8 for 56, 6 for 17, 5 for 11, 13 for 58, 7 for 55, 10 for 54. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's like it also I don't really understand this firing at all. Dart has a concussion. I believe that Jackson Dart has been concussion checked 5 times since the preseason. Like Jackson Dart, including the preseason, Jackson Dart has been concussion checked 5 times. That's pretty bad. Even if he wasn't concussed every time, it's still pretty bad. But the more interesting thing is that Joe Shane did not want Jackson Dart. If you go back and read, Brian Daboll wanted Jackson Dart. Joe Shane did not want to take Jackson Dart at 25. Daboll was the Dart guy. I'd probably fire Joe Shane too, instead of just firing Brian Daboll. But it sounds like Joe Shane is going to keep his job, and Brian Daboll is not going to keep his job. Can we hypothesize on the next coach? I mean, somehow it's going to end up being Joe Brady. The Giants lost every game this year, up 10 points. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't care. I don't care one way or the other about Brian Daboll's job. Yes. This is a direct quote. Joe Shane right before the pick. If you're speaking to Brian Daboll, sure, he's your guy. Let's take the swing. But yeah, I don't think that I don't think that Brian Daboll is a particularly good coach. I don't think this is any big loss. But I would not paint this as good for Jackson Dart. Well, I mean, Saquon Barkley makes literally, I know everyone likes to dunk on the Giants, but Saquon Barkley makes no difference to the New York Giants. No disrespect, but he makes no difference. They're still a shitty losing team. Saquon Barkley is not making any difference to the Philadelphia Eagles this year. All right. Well, rip to Brian Daboll, man. He will probably be a quality control assistant for. This will be good. Brian Daboll, PFR. What is Brian Daboll's next job going to be? This will be fun. Brian Daboll has coached. So he was a Belichick Patriots guy. Who were the coaches for the 2007 Jets? Mangini. Oh, Schottenheimer. Okay, Schottenheimer. So he's got a Schottenheimer connection. The 2010 Browns. He was the OC. The 2012 Chiefs. Romeo Crennel. So that's gone. That tree's dead. Todd Bowles. Mike Nolan. The Bills. Who would have been the Bills defensive coordinator? Leslie Frazier. Cincinnati Bengals head coach. UNC. Yeah. I don't know. If I had to guess right now, he will be a quarterbacks coach for somebody. He'll be a quarterbacks coach for 1 year. Then he'll get an OC job. Then he will get promoted after that. Who was the 2017 Bama defensive coordinator? 2017 Bama DC. Jeremy Pruitt. Okay, I've never heard of this guy. Ooh, he could. Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see. Raiders. Ooh, Eagles OC. Yeah, I mean, Mike Kafka is a pretty good play caller. Whoever decides to pay dimes will be fired within 9 months. Man, I hate to agree with T-Bear, but I think he's probably right. Yeah, Hurts and Daboll, Alabama connection. Very, very slight Alabama connection, though. Yeah, reports are that Mr. Shane is staying with the team for whatever that would be worth. Jeremy Pruitt paid recruits with cash stuff in McDonald's bags. Get it done how you got to get it done. Pruitt was the Florida State DC in their 2013 season, then failed as Tennessee head coach. Did Daboll coach Tua? Well, let us find out. The 2017 Alabama Crimson Tide. What do we think? I don't remember who the 2017 Bama quarterback was. Hurts and Tua. And Devonta Smith. And Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Yep. All right. I'm officially on the record. Brian Daboll will be the offensive coordinator, or he will. Brian Daboll will either be the quarterbacks coach or the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles next year. That is my official projection. These are very funny back-to-back comments. Giants looking for the guy who drafted all these horrible players and no offensive line. To be fair, Shane's hit rate in the past 3 drafts is really good. NFL fans, man. It's unbelievable. All right, let's look real quick over at the FFPC. I don't think it was a very good week. Looks like 1 win there. Huge win here. So Destroyer is going to be done unless what? How many points do we need? So Destroyer needs Jordan Love to get 32 points tonight, or it's done for the year. Alchemy needs, okay, so we should get a win here. This 7-2 team. We have Hurts and Devonta versus Barkley basically tied. We're down 0.2. So that should be a win. And I believe we are first in the standings. No, we are not. We are not even making the playoffs right now at 1,255 points. So we absolutely need this win. Cannot lose this game. Arcade Fire is dust despite scoring 194. Showgirl is dust if we don't get Romeo Dubs has to outscore Devonta Smith by 2 points. So that team is probably RIP. Oh no. All right. Co-managed team with Evan Silva, Rich Rebar, JJ Zacharyson, and Pat Thorman. Oh, Standings League does not update scores. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, I did the cash review at the start of the show, but here you go. I played the absolute nut team. And Nate played some idiot shit. 191.02. Nate scored 166.72. Nate played Puka instead of McCaffrey or JSN, and he played Hunter Henry instead of Parker Washington. So he took the L. But if you go to the beginning, I recap the whole team. And okay, so we need AJ Brown to get 16 tonight to stay live here. 16 to have a chip in a chair. Fuck, dude. Prater 1 point. Demario Douglas 5 points. Mayer 6 points. That is just brutal run out. Missing Rashee Rice and Jamar Chase. Tough. And then, we got a little bit of a barn burner here on Evermore. We are the 4th seed right now. Chance for us to get in on points and record. But we need what? Oh shit, this is going to be a sweat. We are up 153 to 145. And we are up, so we're up 8 points with the Green Bay team defense versus Dallas Goedert. Bowers gave us 4 points. Gadsden gave us 5.8. 10 from David Montgomery. We did leave Juwan Jennings on the bench for Rachaad White or David Montgomery. Probably should not have done that. Ugh. All right, so that's going to be some sickening sweats. Ooh, I'm second in my pros versus Joe's league. I haven't even looked at this team. How far behind are we in this? Okay, we're very far back in the standings. Goff, McCaffrey, Algier, Jamo, Igbuka, K-Dot, and St. Brown, Andrews. Nothing from Josh Allen for me. Tyler Lockett, Colston Loveland. Okay. Well, that is literally how it goes sometimes. That is how she goes. I feel it's funny. I'm not having like the greatest best ball year, but I do feel like very good about a lot of my seasonal teams. The seasonal stuff is going pretty well because the impact of Jonathan Taylor is mitigated. The impact of Jonathan Taylor and Rico Dowdle is like somewhat mitigated in seasonal. It just matters a smidgen less because there are more decisions to be made. Let's see if BBMDB scores did not update. Okay, so let's go to Best Ball Muse. Is that it? BB Muse. BB Data Muse. I think my teams look a little bit better. Potentially. BBMportfolio.com is what this one is. We'll check this. Wow, I love how hit him with the gritty 18 is the example. That's very funny. All right. Hey, we're up to 19 advancing teams in Best Ball Mania. 66th percentile, 12% advance rate. Still not advancing a Brock Bowers team. A lot of missed opportunities here, although Quentin Johnston did settle down a little bit. Tight end premium does open things up for sure a little bit. No, this is free. But shout out my boy. He's at BB Datamuse on Twitter. So shout out my boy. Here you go. Try entry breakdown. Here, let me copy paste the link for you guys. bbmportfolio.com. There you go. I assume that 67th percentile is by total teams, not by advance rate, because most of the people who enter Best Ball Mania do not max enter. So I'm assuming that is what it is. I would assume that it is very, very uncommon to max enter, that there are if I had to guess, I would guess there are far greater people who enter once than enter 150 times. If I had to guess. No, Brashard Smith's role is his role. What did my boy want me to do? He said do entry breakdown. In entry breakdown. There we go. I have 8 in first place. I have 11 in second place. I have 16 in third place. I have 14 in fourth place. I have 13, 20. Best case scenario, 26% advance rate. Worst case scenario is advancing 8. All right, don't love that. A couple clean teams in there. Here we go. Here's one that's 62 points back and is clean. Hertz and May, Bijan, Warren, Dobbins, Ford, Brutal, Brashard, Brutal, Jarquez Hunter. That's a 0. The website just told me to play better. I swear I got a notification at like 7 in the morning saying Daboll got fired. Crazy. AJ Brown, very bad advance rate. Jack Besh, very bad advance rate. Waddle, Addison. So this one could make up some ground tonight. A lot of these teams are not really that far behind. 11 points behind, 5 points behind, 27 points behind, 28 points behind and clean. So many Purdy teams, man. The Purdy teams are fucking killing me. Just murdering me, man. So many Purdy zeros. Just Purdy 0 on top. Look at that wide receiver room. Just like loser after loser. London, Worthy, Jennings, Ayuk. I mean, every Ayuk pick was so bad. Is Brandon Ayuk and Caleb Johnson have just got to be some of the absolute worst picks imaginable. Burrow returning to practice would be absolutely the most hilarious guy you need. Yeah, he really would. All right, this one is in fourth place, 130 points back. Caleb Williams and Herbert, a whole red room. Genty, Chase Brown, Pacheco, Guerrero, dead Braylon Allen, and J.K. Dobbins. Adam Thielen, fuck. 60 points back and clean. Purdy, Love, Shuck, Bijan, Bucky, Cook, Tracy, Bigsby, JCM at pick 194. Devontae Adams, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Diggs, Shaheed, Thornton, Loveland, Ertz, Theo Johnson. Yeah, we really need Amari and Hampton back. Is there a way to see these clean teams? I don't really know anything about this website. The only reason I'm using it right now is because the guy on Twitter seems nice, but just because I believe that our boy PD had a work thing. He is busy with his real job today, so BBMDB not updated. Let's go find my absolute worst team. Absolute worst team, 514 points behind. Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, Tyler Shuck, Amarian Hampton, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Tajay Spears, Isaac Guerrero, Miles Sanders, Brashard Smith, Neighbors and Evans dead, Ridley dead, Jennings has only played like 4 games, Jaden Reed dead, Jalen McMillan dead, and of course it's a Bowers team. Had to be a Bowers team. Bowers, I mean, that is so funny. That is just absolute comedy. 514 teams behind. 514 points behind. I mean, that is comical. Just incredible. I mean, I feel like, all right, we can pull up the best clean team. I feel like Daboll is obviously not like terrible. All right, here, best clean team: May, Ward, Gino, Gibbs and Taylor, Isaiah Pacheco, J.K. Dobbins, Jarquez Hunter, T. Worthy, Metcalf, Diggs, Pittman, Kyle Williams, Io Manor, Ferguson, Henry, Chig. Not even really that good. GM. Thank you, G-Temp. Have you noticed how dominant the OSU defense has been with only 65 points given up in 9 games? Maybe Patricia will get an NFL job. Is Ohio State defensive coordinator the absolute easiest job in fantasy in football? I feel like it's got to be, right? OSU defensive coordinator, it's got to be the easiest job. I mean, look how shitty Chip Kelly is doing. Chip Kelly just like absolutely shitting and pissing everywhere. Like just doing a horrible job for the Raiders, and he won a national championship last year. I'd like to find what's my like lowest placing team that is like relatively close. Here's one that is 48 points behind in 7th place. Kyler dead, but has Bo Nix. Connor's dead. Okay, this team's super dead. Never mind. There's actually no point in looking at these. 205 points back clean. 187 points back clean. I mean, these are all so dead. I don't even know who Jim Knowles is, I don't think. Yeah, Brian Hartline, very good wide receivers coach for sure. All right. We'll catch up on the best ball mania stuff later. Assuming that I don't have a baby, which who knows at this point, man. Maybe he just never wants to come. Yeah, I was definitely not expecting the Raiders to be this bad. Gino being this bad is crazy. Yeah, we're gonna. Well, first off, let's ship a. Is there a PTP bash? There probably is not. Sorry. Let's ship a primetime Palooza. Set ourselves up for this game this evening. We've got Green Bay, Philadelphia, and the Giants against the Patriots. So let's do a quick Monday, Thursday night PTP. And see what is got going on here, and then we'll check out the main BR. Yeah, apparently the Burrow practice window has opened, so who knows? All right, we got the 4th pick. Definitely a huge bifurcation at quarterback between Hurts, May, and then Love. Way less of a role. I would feel uncomfortable about drafting Trevion Henderson. Yeah, the baby doesn't want me to lose the $17 I make per stream. He's He's sweating. He's sweating for me. Man, Burrow practice window. Burrow's going to play before Marshawn Lloyd, someone just said in the Discord. All right. So I guess my big targets on this slate would be Emmanuel Wilson, Christian Watson, definitely Mac Hollins. Definitely Luke Musgrave. This is kind of a fun little PTP. Breece Hall also does seem very, very strong. Breece Hall was like the whole team yesterday. Justin Fields, according to Pro Football Focus, had 9 aimed throws. Yeah, I'm just gonna actually, you know what? We're really playing it fast and loose here. I'm gonna do Hurts AJ Brown, and we're gonna get what we get at running back. $17. That honestly they might be overshooting it. I can actually check that. I wonder. Maybe it is $17 per stream. Watch page ads. Advanced mode. Yeah, it's more, well, no. Yeah, it's more like 30 sometimes. Really just depends. Wow, and we got Trevion to fall, GZ, and man, Garrett Wilson really might not play. Let's do Christian Watson, and I've got an idea. Yeah, this is the Monday Thursday slate. Calling any Fields throw aimed is generous at this point. Hey man, the more the merrier. Jets drop bombs, and I'm sure there would be many people around who would be happy to support. But you know, it's I would say my true and honest advice to most people thinking about getting into the YouTube thing would be to not do streaming, and would be to make edited videos instead. I'm jumping the shark. This is not the exact right usage of jumping the shark, Beastburf. Are there any 2026 rookies you really like? There are. I mean, obviously some of them are, I mean, everyone knows these guys, you know, Jeremiah Love and Jordan Tyson. 1 second, let me make this pick. I'm gonna take Bigsby. That's actually such a sick angle. And then I'm going to take John Fitzpatrick as my scroll tight end. Kind of have a feeling about him this evening. So I really like Tyson. I really like Carnell Tate. Obviously, everyone knows about Mekhi Lemon, but I think Jacoby Lane is like he's like 6'4". He is going to be really good. I do like both of the Penn State running backs. I'm very curious to see what Jeremy Bernard runs in the 40. The guy from Alabama, very interested in him. I do kind of like Contravian Wisner, the Texas running back, and I will put you guys on. This will be the no fantasy football YouTuber has talked about this guy yet, but Trey Lance's little brother, his name is Bryce Lance. He is the best wide receiver in college football. The issue is he goes to the same school that Trey Lance went to, so there's no telling how real his statistics are. But this is Bryce Lance's 2025 college stats. The dude has been unreal for a team that like basically does not throw the ball at all. And I think he is going to do I think he's going to obviously be awesome at the combine. I don't know how old he is though. That's the thing is I do not know how old he is. 2025 NDSU cumulative season statistics. So individual stats. The team just never throws. The team has, so it's funny, the team has 203 total pass attempts, and Bryce Lance has 39 of the team's receptions. But I think he's Surratt is pretty good. I don't think he is going to test very well. Tony is a stud, but I'm pretty sure that he is a true freshman. And then the guy that I will be losing money on that you guys should not take, but that I will be taking, will be Nick Harbor from the University of Southern Carolina. Nick Harbor is going to be like a legit like 10 RAS guy. And he like cannot play football at all though. But I will be drafting the shit out of him in the big board. So for the 2025 Gamecocks, let's see. They've 3 wins. Nick Harbor has 21 receptions for 401 yards. Yeah, no Gillcast this week. Nate was out of town, or Sammy was out of town, and I thought that I was having a child, so no Gillcast this week, brother. But we will be returning soon. Do any of the skill guys that came out of NDSU ever become any good? Oh, Nate actually just sent me a message and said, "There you go. You guys are about to get your Gillcast." Nate just texted me and said that he's about to come on. So there you go. You guys are about to get treated to potentially some Nate NOHLING. I believe Tucker Kraft was SDSU. Man, the 2026 quarterback class looks awful. All right, let's kick ourselves up a pick'em for Monday Night Football. 132.30 Monday Night Football pick'em. What do you guys got for me? What do you fellas got for pick'em action? All I know is that Jalen Hurts is scoring a rushing touchdown. That's it. I do like, you know what? I'm going to take Musgrave 31.5 receiving yards. And then I'm also going to take Jalen Hurts to score a rushing touchdown. Yeah, what is Jalen Hurts' rush attempts? 8.5. That's pretty high. Could do Christian Watson, longest reception. 5.5 rush attempts for Emmanuel Wilson. I did see the pic of Mike McDaniel driving by a bar with Buffalo fans and trolling them. Yeah, I think Musgrave overs are probably my favorite. Maybe I was trying to see if there's anyone I could take a lower on. 22.5 longest reception. Feels pretty good. Tate seems trappy. Who's Tate? Golden Tate? Oh, Carnell Tate. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I mean, I like that. I like that right there. Watson's scoring tonight. Jair's not going to play tonight. The Green Bay backup tight end for this game is a guy named John Fitzpatrick. Do you know when the winner of the Dog Bowl pick'em is posted? I believe it should be tonight. Though I'm not sure. Man, I don't think I'll be drafting Mateer. Mateer is the deal with Mateer is he's too short. Mateer is a very, very short young man. Yeah, I think the game is honestly mostly going to be kind of ugly. Yeah, so let's do Christian Watson. Let's do Christian Watson longest reception. I guess let me fact check this, because I think Watson will get some extra routes tonight. So Watson's had, what is it? Well, actually, I can just check all of his receiving plays. Man, I frankly, I'm worried. I'm very worried about, and that Texas loss was just so disheartening. So Christian Watson has had individual plays of 52 yards, 33 yards, 28 yards, 19 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards. A deep target that was thrown for an interception, and a short target that was incomplete. So those are all of the Christian Watson plays this year. I don't think this is true. Saquon, I know everyone loves Saquon, but he's just been so aggressively mid this year that I don't feel very good about it. No, this is not the case. Musgrave is, people do actually forget that Luke Musgrave started over Tucker Kraft when they were rookies. So Luke Musgrave in 2023 was if we go to 2023, Luke Musgrave, very good run blocker. Handled 58% of his snaps as a run blocker. Actually, he's not been good the most recent 2 years. That's kind of interesting. Going to be below freezing at kickoff. Okay. Yeah, Musgrave. But yes, this is true. Musgrave had to get hurt. So in 2023, offense grades chart. I mean, not like Musgrave was awesome, but he started over Kraft. Not wishing an injury, but Musgrave lowers because he can't finish a game. All right, hot take. I mean, he ran. Look at this dude. He ran a ton of routes. He ran 40% of his routes out of the slot as a rookie. Kind of interesting. I think I can get with that one. I like Musgrave a lot in this spot. Saquon just smoked the Giants. He really didn't. He just had the one good run. Musgrave feels like he wins the job on 20+ teams. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it just turns out that Kraft is really, really good. That's just really the issue. All right, while we wait for Nate, let's do our first BR of the week. It's BR time, boys. Another CMC slate, and no Jonathan Taylor. CMC, no Jonathan Taylor. We've got Lamar, Allen, Mahomes against Denver. McCarthy. Love is a scroll. Dart's probably not going to play. So, Caleb against Minnesota. That's going to be fireworks. All right. Let's do our first BR of the week. Yeah, Danny. The thing I think I've learned my lesson with these heavy production West Coast guys from Nick Nash. I don't think my boy Scudero is going to end up making much of an impact. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like I've sort of learned my lesson from those fellows. Oh, I didn't even end up doing a pick'em. I couldn't decide. I'm gonna have to sit down and get in. Well, let's go finish this. Let's do this. There we go. Monday Night Football pick'em. Projections have changed. Come on. Projections have changed on what? Dude, why are you messing with me? Christian Watson. All right. Christian Watson, longest reception. Musgrave, receiving yards. Hurts, touchdown, $10. Oh, they're tilting me. Yeah, Skylar Bell. I just learned about the legend of Skylar Bell. He looked really, really good this most recent week. Wow, there we go. Here's the guy himself. One Mr. Nathaniel Nohling. What's up, dude?
How's it going?
Going great, man. Cause I was sharp enough to just do the stone nuts, brother.
Dude. As soon as I saw that you only played McBride, I'm like, why didn't I? Like that is totally a me move to just play McBride and see him. I don't know what I was doing. I played bad.
So
it didn't matter, but I played bad.
The thing is that the optimals were bad because the optimal was McCarthy, A-Chain, Daboll. What was it? It was JSN, Jennings, some shitty. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up actually.
I mean, the optimals were all over. It was probably the first time that I can remember this year that we've had one where every site had a different optimal. There was no like I think you were on the biggest train I saw in the double ups, but
it was a huge train, but I don't know. I don't even know how it happened because it was not one of the the top run the Sims optimal actually had Parker Washington in it, but normally what gets played is the top ETR optimal, and that didn't even really get played because the top ETR optimal was May, A-Chain, Daboll, Tez, Debo, Jennings, Henry, McCaffrey, and the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting slate for sure. I think I definitely the Parker Washington thing looks sharp in hindsight, but I'm trying to figure out if that was a miss or not. I felt pretty bad about just the systemic risk to that Jaguars offense. I thought that adding Jacoby, obviously losing BTJ for a whole week, knowing I just had no idea what Parker Washington's role was going to be. And I just thought I could totally see this Jacksonville offense just, having a ton of systemic risk. So I didn't feel comfortable about the Washington thing. And then the Debo thing is similar in that, even though he projected okay from a median projection standpoint, I just thought there were so many injury and other risks with Debo that I didn't think Debo was worth it in cash. So I don't think, was Debo that high played in cash? I didn't think he was.
No, that's just interesting. He wasn't because people IK beat it, but that is very I wonder if, generally speaking, when that happens, it must mean that somebody on a show said oh, I'm not doing that. Levitan.
Yeah, Debo was only 7% owned, 6.7% owned in the $25.
So it looks like what most people did is they pivoted to my lineup where they did Parker Washington and McCaffrey instead of what was that? It was Hunter Henry and something. Or no, it was A-Chain Parker Washington over Hunter Henry and JSN. That's what the 2v2 was. It was to get Parker Washington over Hunter Henry.
Yeah. So the only JSN was the only other decision point for me because I thought it was pretty clear that I wasn't going to play Parker Washington. And so the receivers that I was looking at was either Puka, Juwan, and Zay, or there was a JSN team as well because JSN was $100 cheaper than Puka. And I had JSN most of the week, but then pivoted to Puka Sunday morning right before lock at some point. And that I didn't feel good about. And I almost flipped it multiple times. But I thought JSN and Puka were just such a coin flip that I couldn't really land on it. But that was really the only other decision point. And then some people didn't like Jaguars D and took who was the
Buccaneers.
Browns? Oh, Bucks. Yeah. But overall, I thought it was just a weird week in cash because there wasn't one clear team.
I mean, look at this. So you've got 143.33. You have to go all the way down to for a full point, you have to scroll like past like 30 teams to get to a point of difference between all those teams. Like you literally have to scroll so far to get to a point of difference. It's insane.
So it really was all whether or not you played Henry or not.
Yes, if you played Hunter Henry, you lost. If you didn't play him and you did something reasonable, you probably won.
I mean, I still won in cash games. I mean, I was fine, but yeah, Hunter Henry was 39.5% owned. Trey McBride was right there. So obviously having both helps, but I should have, man, that Hunter Henry game was so tilting.
I mean, that's the reason.
He doesn't even get expected production. So it wasn't even like Henry was just a bad play.
Yeah, Parker Washington being half as owned as Hunter Henry. And then, I mean, honestly, like the Tez Johnson thing was like an all-time suck out. He's really barely involved. I mean, I think, 4 receptions, but gets 2 touchdowns. Not that it really mattered to the score. Honestly, the guy, and it's so funny to say this knowing the results, but like I actually didn't really feel that good about playing Devin Achane because I was like, oh well, the Dolphins could just get skunked here. Like the Dolphins could be, they have 3 points at half. Josh Allen is just like Harlem Globetrotting, has like 1 billion points at halftime, and it doesn't even matter that the Bills have this terrible run defense because Achane doesn't have enough time to run.
But I think that's the one nice thing with Achane is like he can easily get 10 targets and 100 yards passing if the game flow goes that way. It's just a question of whether or not Miami is trying to move the ball and score at all. Like there's some games where they don't even look like they're trying to score. So I think Achane, I get the risk, but that's why Achane and Daboll were very clearly the plays. And then I think, I mean, when I look at your lineup, I'm like, I like the structural of just getting CMC, but the Parker Washington Tez thing just feels flimsy to me, and that's where when I look at, the Zay Puka Juwan thing, I'm like, I feel so much better about that team. But Hunter Henry was bad, and I should not have felt for that. Like this is much better. So
the locks, I think, were Dowdle, Jennings, McBride, and the Jags. Like I thought those were like all like you had to play those. I didn't really like Tez Johnson. I played with like, oh, should I play like De'Ami Brown, which is really funny because De'Ami Brown ended up with the 4th most snaps of any Jaguars wide receiver.
Did you not consider Zay at all here? Like Zay felt like buying a generational dip for Bitcoin. Like it was one of those things where it's like, this is very clearly you're buying the lowest you're going to buy in this Ravens offense. Lamar's going to come back. They're going to throw here. It's going to be a game where they're going to put up, and this is the lowest you're going to find Zay all year. And so it's like, I just felt so confident that Zay was going to be like such.
Well, I bought it in tournaments. I bought it I only played 1 tournament entry yesterday because I was like, I don't want to be in the fucking hospital. trying to swap. But like I would say Zay was like my favorite wide receiver. Well, Jennings was my favorite in both, but Flowers after Jennings. Because I agree with you in terms of like this is like a generational spot for Flowers. He's underpriced. But the thing with Flowers and the Ravens in general is all of their players have like horrible floors just because of the way they play. Just the way the
volume is play. The volume is so hard
so
to
low. Yeah. Like Flowers can be a really good tournament play at 18%, and I can still want to play Parker Washington over him in cash because sometimes Zay Flowers has the game of his life and looks like the best player on the football field and ends with 12 points. Almost honestly, kind of more often than not, you're watching a Ravens game and you're like, dude, if Zay Flowers was on the Bengals, this guy would be averaging 24 points a game. But it just the way the Ravens play. They also, I mean, this is true all the way to his rookie year. They never throw the ball to him in the red zone. Their whole, like, he might as well not even be on the field when they're on the 5-yard line. He never gets the ball there.
Yeah, that's where they get the Andrews just get in there and get the touchdown anyway, shape, or form. So looking back, maybe Zay wasn't as much of a smash. I mean, because of that volume, but I don't know. Zay at 59 felt like the play. I was surprised to see him as steamed in tournaments as he was to not be as owned in cash. I mean, in cash, he was the 4th owned wide receiver. It was Juwan, JSN, Tez, Zay. So to see Tez with more ownership than Zay was kind of surprising to me in cash. Yeah. And then,
I mean,
love Parker.
Like, frankly, and like surviving the JJ McCarthy thing is really funny too, because he was awful. His score ended up not really mattering at all, but it is just like he was really bad. He barely ran. Didn't get his I think he got 35 of his rushing yards on their final drive, and then his passing touchdown was on their final drive as well.
But isn't that why you play someone like him? Like, you play him for what the lineup is. It's not for like his individual performance. You're not sitting there going like, oh, I think I'm going to get 303 from JJ. You're just saying like, hey, I'm playing a $4,900 QB who's going to let me get everybody I need and has some rushing ability to, put some points up and keep his floor what it is. And so I don't know. I'm fine with the JJ performance. I think it was really a question of the rest of your lineup. But were you scared at all with Trey McBride just because, I mean, he doesn't know how to score touchdowns,
dude, Jacoby's
at this point, like,
he's fucking Gronk when Jacoby's in the lineup, dude. They ran it ended up getting called back by a holding penalty, but they ran the stupid Travis Kelce pitch play to get him a touchdown. I actually think something that is a little bit under discussed with Trey McBride is the relationship between James Conner being out and his touchdown production as well, because it means when they get to the 4-yard line, they're not just like, all right, well, we're going to run Conner 4 times or whatever like that. Everyone wants to accredit it all to Jacoby. And don't get me wrong, Jacoby's a big part of it, but it's also that they're like, well, we're not running the ball with Amari DiMercato from the 3-yard line.
It's not even Jacoby. It's anybody but Kyler. It could be anybody but Kyler. It's not even a Jacoby thing. Like, it's just having a functional quarterback who can get the ball to the best weapon in the red zone matters. And that's where, like, anybody else other than Kyler will be able to do that. And I think Trey McBride is going to be – he is such a monster. I am so happy he's going to score what he's going to score the rest of this year.
Yeah, honestly, the goal of a $4,000 quarterback should be he doesn't get benched and has a chance to like get garbage points in the second half. I almost played Jacoby Brissett. My like placeholder team had Jacoby. I mean, it was basically the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
same like theory to me. Like, I think that would be fine. I think, overall the Daboll thing, Daboll was obvious. I didn't think twice. Obviously,
the Parker Washington score was so fake. The fucking punt return touchdown and getting it with the Jaguars. That is pure luck.
95% of the people who played Parker Washington didn't even know he played special teams like that.
No. Yeah, and frankly, he probably shouldn't be on their punt returns anymore because he's actually important to their offense now.
Wide receiver ones shouldn't be returning punts, and he's currently the wide receiver 1 for that team. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you looked at what Sammy played. I mean, this is just fucking classic, dude. Lines up. David Njoku doesn't play McBride, goes Tillman, decides to do double JSN, like he went double stud instead of getting in Trey McBride. I frankly, if he would have done Judy instead of Tillman, I don't know how he could have done that salary wise. I would have been more into it. I thought about playing Judy at 3,900.
I mean, I thought about it, but then when Fannin was like gonna play, Cleveland as a whole was just like, okay, you can't go here. This team looks like Sammy built it and then got on a plane and went to vacation and just didn't update with the news. But then
he was on a helicopter yesterday.
But here's the thing: at 11:55, he texted and said, "Guys, I'm going to flip over something wild." And he knew what he was doing. He chose this. It wasn't I didn't get a chance to update it. This was. So we're not going to let him off on this vacation thing, pretending he's not paying attention. This was intentional. I cannot believe he went to
and biggest, honestly, to me, the bigger mistake in this lineup is Tez over Jennings. Tez over Jennings is really bad.
Tez over Jennings. I mean, the whole thing. I just going with 2 Cleveland pass catchers without the Phantom injury. I mean, at this point, just play Dylan Gabriel as your QB. I mean,
just play Dylan Gabriel.
Just go all out. I mean, that's. Oh,
I will admit I almost played Judkins instead of McBride in my team, so I had Hunter Henry in, I had Judkins in at flex, and that was with a JSN team. That was the permutation that had Jacoby Brissett in it. And I wouldn't have been good, but at the end of the day, I was just like, it's a full PPR website. Maybe on FanDuel you do Judkins, but like even if Judkins had a 3 touchdown game where he didn't beat 30 points. Like McBride got 30 with 1 touchdown. The guy just spits PPR points.
Yeah, the McBride is so good. The other team that I saw that was like really trained was the Drake May, Hunter Henry team. That was like a 2v2 of you.
Yes, that was the big train. So Drake May instead of McCarthy, and then Hunter Henry instead of Parker Washington.
Yeah,
that was a big train. Did you have any GPP sweats yesterday?
Nothing big. I had too much Buka.
Man, I
did you have a good team?
No, dude, I'm such an idiot. So my favorite play of the slate was Jahmyr Gibbs. I said it on the Thursday show. It's like gotta get Gibbs in, and then I was like, man, is Jared Goff stuff just going to be underowned? And I also, this team about 7 minutes before lock had Gibbs and Trevion Henderson in it. I don't remember the exact permutation. And then basically I ended up playing the worst possible version of that team in the SPY. It's a Goff quadruple or a Goff triple, St. Brown, JMO, and Laporta. Because I knew all the Lions guys would get steamed individually, but I didn't think they would be steamed together. Jennings, I thought, was like an auto. What really messed this team up was Flowers. If I give up Flowers on this team, so you play Jennings instead of Flowers, you play Henderson at the flex, and then I played literally any defense and then get A-Chain over Judkins, which is, I don't remember exactly what I had, but it was something like that. Like I had the bones of a really good team. I mean, the team scored fucking 44 points. Like I feel good about the Lions angle, but it wasn't, just didn't, I mean, it was just Gibbs. Like you just had to play Gibbs and A-Chain yesterday.
Yeah, I was really upset at how much the Lions thing steamed because I had a Lions team that was, I mean, almost this exact team, I think. Let me pull it up real quick. It was it was in the double SPY, and I did, let's see. I did a Gibbs triple.
You did Gibbs with Goff, because ultimately that would have been a huge smash. Like if you did Gibbs with Goff, it would have been.
Oh no, that was not
super
the
smash.
No, I did the fade Gibbs team that you did.
Yep.
And then the ownership came.
Yeah, no one played Gibbs, and then everyone played the Lions guys.
Yeah, so I did Goff, Henry, A-Chain, Jameson, Debo, Amon-Ra, K. Dotton, Sam Laporta, Bucks D in the smaller SPY.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the ownership steam coming in on Goff, JMO. I mean, JMO at 17% feels like probably my worst play in a single entry this year. Like 17% owned for a 4,900 Jameson Williams is
but Dan Campbell took over the play calling, so it meant that the inputs on Jameson Williams were wrong. You had to increase his target share when you knew that Dan
but
Campbell.
He didn't do that until halfway through the game. It was like it wasn't halfway through the second quarter.
No. It was well, maybe I don't know.
I think
but he put the glasses on and it was over.
I know, but he did it. I think halfway through. It wasn't like into the game.
Did you see the clip? This is actually really cool. So there's a clip of he calls the play that JMO scored a touchdown on, and right after he calls it, he fist pumps because he knows it's going to be a touchdown. He calls the play, calls it into Goff, and then does a fist pump because he's like, "We just scored a touchdown."
It's the Steph Curry.
Yeah, it was very cool. I actually legitimately think I would push back on that though.
On
like,
JMO?
Yes, because these kind of spots, these like marginal low targets per route run wide receivers, they get steamed like this for a reason, which is that the reason why JMO got steamed in this spot was the Lions could do whatever they wanted. They could have scored 60 in this game if they had wanted to. And so these guys, these Matthew Golden, these JMO, these Worthy, these types of guys that kind of have a hard time getting the ball in the flow of the game. The reason why they get steamed in these spots is because the teams can just be like, we want you to succeed in this game, which means that the inputs on them are wrong. Like it seems wrong on the face of it that JMO and St. Brown were the same amount of owned. But if you actually think about it logically, JMO can get his at any point. Or sorry, St. Brown can get his receptions, his stats in any game. For JMO to get his stats, and they want him to get stats. They want JMO to stay bought in. They want, like, that's a total Dan Campbell thing. This was always going to be a spot where they tried to get him going.
JMO at 17% coming in at the same or less than Tez Johnson is a terrible play. You're giving up.
Well, it turns out the Tez Johnson inputs were wrong too.
I just think if I play that, looking back, I think Jameson and then obviously Henry was my second worst play of the year. I mean, Henry coming in at 12% owned at 6,800 was like, but no, I mean, JMO being the seventh most owned wide receiver on the slate, I don't think I would listen to an argument that's a good play at 18%.
You know what? It's honestly,
18%, no.
It does remind me of this. It reminds me of, like, Will Fuller would just always be 35% when he smashed, and he'd be 3% owned when he didn't smash.
But no one gets to 30, like, a wide receiver at 17% in today's day and age for a single entry tournament that's that big is, I don't know. That's a ton of ownership.
It is, and it would have made him sim even worse had the ownerships on the inputs been right. By the way, Thomas, is this you? Are you Notorious Parlay? Pretty fucking sick team. JMO on the winner. Were the inputs wrong, or did these guys just hit the tail? The inputs on JMO were wrong, in my opinion. If you told me that JMO that Dan Campbell himself was taking over the play calling, I would have moved Jameson here. I can actually pull up the inputs. I would have gone into Run the Sims. I mean, I bet we have him for like a hilariously low total. I would have moved JMO from 16 to 20%.
But you're acting like you think that JMO becomes this 30% target share guy. Like,
no, I literally a 20% target share guy instead of a 16% target share guy. And that would meaningfully change his projection.
Owned wide receiver and of the day.
Yeah, because I also thought that their team total was too low. Like, what's the input on the, like, I would have moved, like, in my mind, the Lions team total was like 35.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that would have ended up being low. But Thomas, I mean, sick fucking team, dude.
That's awesome.
JMO on the shipper.
Dude,
and that's all you had to do.
And that's with Dart getting injured in the.
Yeah, he could have won. He could have won by even more. I mean, Russell Wilson played the entire fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Nate, do you play these games at all?
No,
the
I
draft
need
games.
to. There's not enough time as it is, and trying to balance work and
You would love them once you like if you started to like think about it and like saw how inefficient the ownerships and everything were. You would you like they're honestly like a lot. They're well, are they more intricate than the salary cap games? It's just a lot different of a strategy than the salary cap games.
Yeah, maybe in the offseason I'll spend some time trying to go after it. I mean, it does look like a more interesting game, which almost brings me back to like early days of DFS because so much of it feels solved that like it could be fun just attacking that mental energy.
That is exactly what it is, and everyone drafts off the same set of projections, like 50%. Well, a huge chunk of the field doesn't use projections at all, and then another big chunk of the field literally just downloads the rankings from ETR and puts them in without editing or adjusting them at all. And then like 10% of the pool or whatever has some sort of custom process or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just when you see ownerships of 100%, it does just like the EV of not.
Well, it's 100%, but it's really only 16%, right? So it means they were 100% drafted, but only one team can have them, and each individual.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
That makes sense.
So that changes the math of like, well, in a salary cap contest, a chain should be more than 16% owned. So you're actually have like it's all just kind of it's theory on top of theory. But yeah, man, it was surely was a slate on Sunday.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think there was any massive like takeaways or like even player stuff. There was nothing we learned. There was nothing like. It was one of those slates that just kind of happened, but I don't think it's not like the fish are going to do anything different next week. It's not like anybody who was sharp is going to change anything next week. It didn't really feel like I learned much this week. It was just a weird week.
Yeah, I mean, it's always what happens as we get deeper into the season. Is just that the player pool condenses, salaries are tighter. There's bunch of injured players, and then also like the slates are smaller, they're 10 games or whatever. And also another thing is like scoring is back, like touchdowns are back, but yards are not. I just looked this up. There's only been 36 instances of a 300 passing yard game this season.
Wow.
Through 10 weeks. So that's 3.6 a week. So like no one is getting the 100-yard bonus.
How many quarterbacks are rushing though? I feel like we have way more 50-yard rushing games from quarterbacks this year than I've seen in years past. I mean, now it just feels like every quarterback that's out there can easily get 50 yards rushing without.
That's a good query. I bet it is higher than we would think. All right, descending rushing yards 2025 quarterback statistical filter rushing yards greater than 50 this year. I'm going to guess there's been 22.
I'm going to guess higher.
Oh, yeah. 31. So 31 through including a Carson Wentz. That is. Wait, that can't be right. Oh, because I have it set by. I need to do the game. I need to do that game filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scoring. I mean, the only reason scoring is back is because of the kickoff rule. And I guess the kickoff rule is. I guess it's good because scoring would be down even further. If they had not changed the kickoff rule, scoring would be like horrible. Like teams would be not gaining any yards, and they also would not be scoring. And there's been a big penalty component too, right? Because it's like the greatest amount of first downs granted by penalty in NFL history, which is interesting. All right, we've got 29 50-yard rushing games this year in 10 weeks. And in 2024, in the regular season, there were 60 overall. Now, part of that was because Daniel Jones was healthy and Lamar Jackson was healthy. Look how many of them.
I guess I'm more thinking of like compared to like 2020 or just like over.
Like Jaden Daniels is the whole fucking list.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels did it like 8 times. Let's go.
Now it feels like just individually at a week, we can even have 10.
Well, Mahomes is running more. That's a big part of it.
Mahomes, Dart,
So in
Allen,
2020, there was only
Caleb.
47, and Lamar was 12 of them. Kyler was 8 of them, and Hurts was 3 of them. So that, I mean, you take Lamar and Kyler out of the pool, and it's like 25 games of 50 rushing yards. Wow. Robert Griffin started in 2020. There's something I did not remember. That's really phenomenal.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, football, it is what it is. You got to adjust. You have to adjust to the meta. And the meta right now is that touchdowns are like far and away the most important thing.
Yeah. Did you have any other tournament takeaways? It looked like, I think Mac Jones stuff simmed post lock really well from everything I've seen. All like seems like overall San Francisco got squeezed the hardest. Detroit got squeezed or steamed the most. Any other like high level takeaways?
I mean, no, the main high level takeaway I have is that we do need to kind of evaluate like what is a quote bad ownership just as the season goes on, because the pool and tournament.
I stand by the Jameson thing being bad. I would love to see some nerdy sims telling me that it's not, but I think 17% JMO is bad.
I mean, I can ask him. Here. Let's go to, we said JMO. All right, let me move JMO to 20%. And I will just run a really quick sim from yesterday. 2,000 lineups, 2,000 sims. I'll do flat payout, and I'll just run this real quick with him at 20%. And well, I didn't adjust the input, but I bet it'll say he's dog shit at 20%. He's put him at 10% or whatever. But I mean, if you don't adjust the input in terms of how many points you expect him to score, him being 20% is horrible.
Puka got steamed, I think, up to more than JSN in tournaments, which was tilting.
Yeah. What about the insane Daboll ownership? It was like the same thing as the Manung guy from last week.
Daboll actually, I mean, he was like 30% less than Manung guy last week. I actually think Daboll was close to fair ownership, would be my guess. I haven't looked at ton at everything post lock, but my guess is he came close to fair. Maybe in some single entry stuff, I saw him closer to like 70 something. 70 is probably too high, but I would say 50 is probably close at his price.
So it looks like JMO is still showing up, but all the JMO stuff all the JMO is all onslaughts. Like if you look at the stuff that you'd play, it's all Goff, David Montgomery, JMO, St. Brown. It's all like 3 or 4 Lions teams. You're not getting any skinny JMO. So that's the only, which again makes sense.
I don't know how to put it into words. It's like an unformed thought, but like the more cumulative, the more you have like a product ownership like that, where it's like an onslaught, the less the individual ownership actually matters, because typically when we look at individual ownership, you're just saying, 15% of the field is with me, so I'm not like actually gaining. But if you have an onslaught, your actual like product ownership of those 4 players, that ownership is going to be so low that I think the individual ownership of the players within that stack don't matter as much.
Correct.
If that makes sense. Like if you have a unique combo of players, like who cares if one of them is 30% owned? If individually no one has those 4 combined, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. That is the point though. And like you see, like in these JMO lineups, there's also some like real kooky shit, right? Like you've got a Terrell Jennings in here, you've got a Tyrone Tracy in here. Like you have to do some interesting combinatorial stuff to get to JMO lineups that sim well. You can't play Stone Chalk with 20% on JMO.
Yeah, it does look like it gets more specific about how you play them.
All right. let's get out of here. Everyone, there you go. Surprise little Monday morning, half of a Gillcast for you. I'll see you guys all back when I see you. Literally, who knows? Could be here with you guys till Friday. Could be I could leave here and go to the hospital. So we never know. But like the video, subscribe to the channel. See y'all later.